Finding a good teacher, especially in internal arts and metaphysics, is a must. One of the most painful punches you can receive is when you realize that you have been learning wrong. And this you can actually authenticate by comparing with different systems and finding out that your teachings are kind of misleading. Well, that's horrible. It's a bummer. That's why it's important to identify a good teacher, especially because some of these arts, for example, Tai Chi, Qigong, Feng Shui, Bazi practices, take years to develop. So imagine that after 3, 6, 10 years of practice, you realize that you're just making a very sexy dance, but your Tai Chi is kind of futile. Then you realize that your lower dantian has no Qi, it hasn't compacted, it's not dense enough for you to engage into probably internal alchemy, or you are unable even to feel your microcosmic orbit, then that's kind of a bummer. So let's start in the next following series of videos. I'm going to give you advice on how to identify a good teacher, the questions you can ask, and the expected answers you can receive from them. So let's start with the first one. The first one is very simple. You can ask about the origin of their practice. Usually a good teacher and a good answer will include a traceable lineage, meaning that they will tell you, oh, I learned from Master B of the Sang Feng Pai family, or the Yang family, or the Song family, and you can actually kind of verify about it. Usually in the very traditional methods, the picture with the teacher or the master is kind of the proof of your lineage ongoing. The second part is making or asking for historical knowledge and background. In this case, a good teacher will also have quite a good understanding. It doesn't have to be like super deep or extensive, but a very good rock solid background on how the practice you're about to enter begin, where does it begin, and how you are related into that history. And my third reference for this first question is philosophical references. Usually the practices are mainly backed up by philosophy. So if the philosophy you're learning is not actually making a match, then something might be a little wrong. So if the red flag appears, for example, claiming invention, that means, oh, I learned with teacher A and he invented this medical Qigong because he thought, for whatever reason, then that would be a red flag. Make sure that the lineage is traceable and that you're not just repeating some sort of invented practice. A second red flag for these references will be the discrediting part of the practice. For example, if you're learning Feng Shui, let's say, if they are discrediting the actually geographical formations, or they are just fixed into the internal placing of objects, something is wrong. If you're learning Tai Chi or Qigong, and they say, oh no, we don't do martial arts application because whatever reason, then something is wrong. And finally, if you get vague answers, or there is not an actual historical background to the questions, then that's also a red flag. So be very mindful of your practice, because it takes a lot of time, and time is something we cannot recover. So hopefully you'll find this useful, and keep on watching for the next questions to help you identify a good teacher.